Competitions are stories about individuals that comprise teams that come together with a common purpose. And what's beautiful about prizes is that a good prize competition is going to tell you what they want to have done, but not how to do it. So these teams are going to approach the problem in drastically different ways. And that's where it becomes a very interesting story.
Some of the teams have obviously ingenious and sort of clever solutions, but they're still at the end of the day homegrown junkyard solution. Even though they're very clever, they're still not sort of sophisticated aerospace products.
We had to start with something that people could, get their teeth into and really start working on and produce something. And that's why each year it's become more challenging and the prizes have become larger.
In order to register, you make contact with us and you present who you are, and you pay a registration fee, which is substantial. It's $5,000. You stand to win $500,000. So we figured if you know that you have the technical expertise to beat the basic benchmark in either competition, then it's a 1 in 100 payoff. That's not bad.
People have learned, and each year their systems are much better than the year before. A couple years from now, we're going to see very polished systems coming in. It'll get harder for people to come in as new entries, but it's a step-by-step approach to develop the engineering.
As it happened this year, there's a couple of teams here that are so technologically advanced that actually I was taken by surprise here, and actually they're doing some pretty sophisticated stuff.
Development of technology toward the space elevator goal, I think, is very beneficial, even though the goal may be far in the future. I think there are benefits in the near term that we're going to see by any technology development, and so really the space elevator is just a stimulus for developing these technologies.
Right now we have to start at a very basic level because nobody has worked on the space elevator up until a few years ago. Nobody. So we're starting completely from scratch a few years ago.
The purpose of the Space Elevator Games is not to build a space elevator in stages. It is designed to spread the idea of the space elevator through a technology competition, but still this is not a stepping stone to the real space elevator. It's a stepping stone to public acceptance of the space elevator idea.
But you start rolling through this list of all these really far out, really beneficial applications that would be achieved through easy access to space, and it's like, okay, you can give long odds to all of them, but by the time you're done, this is a real good thing to do, because if any one of those pays off, it's worth all the effort 10 times over.
We've had bad experience in the previous year with teams that were really unqualified. And one way to weed unqualified entries is just put a barrier of confidence. $5,000 to build an entry would cost more than $5,000. If you can't spare the $5,000, you're not really serious about building. And you got to have the confidence to put $5,000 down.
We start drumming up interest in the space elevator. Young people start looking at going, space elevator? People might be going into space. We might actually be colonizing space, and there's competitions. All of a sudden they start thinking, you know what, maybe I'm not going to become a lawyer. Maybe I'm going to become, an engineer or a scientist.
We have 9 guys coming down here, but we have over 30 people who have put into this team over the course of this year alone, and over the past 3 years, in 05 project, 06 project. A total of probably 60 or 70 separate people have put in, easily over 100 hours each, and more like thousands of hours each into making this thing happen.
This experience for me has been very time consuming. It's more so than what you expect, but as we progress in our engineering careers, we realize that engineering projects take 2 to 3 times as much time than you plan. And that's part of doing this project, is we're getting real world experience right now doing this, and we take this into industry and we're better prepared engineers, which I think is an incredible asset, and our professors and UBC likes that as well. That's why we get lots of support. We're good students, we try hard and we do well, so they respect that. And we also do this in our extracurricular time, so it helps the school and it helps us and it helps everyone. It's win-win.
I tell people I'm doing a competition to help build a space elevator, and I get jealous of the reaction that the college teams get. If they say something like that to somebody, they say, oh, cool. And if I say something like that to somebody, they say, oh, really? Because as an adult, you're supposed to be on to more predictable, more short-term benefit kind of stuff. And the idea that you're in a high-stakes international competition on technical grounds, competing with engineers, NASA-level engineers, really blows their mind. And it takes them a bit to get their mind around it.
I've come to terms with the space elevator. and that it may or may not get built, and I will, do what I can to help.
I really do believe the space elevator is a huge benefit to mankind. That we have the ability to build new medicines. We have the ability to do mining for steel on asteroids instead of ripping up our forests for it. There's all kinds of resources. The resources of our solar system exceed the resources of our planet by some humongous amount.
In the short term, I would like to see these games actually achieve their purpose, and then it would be good to hand them off and walk away. I would like to see the space elevator get built, and it'd be even nicer to have a check mark saying I helped that happen.